in the regular season finale.
These two teams did meet in the regular season twice. You mentioned one of the games. But as we all know, when you meet somebody for a third time, Mark, sometimes strange things happen, and that's certainly what the Jaguars are hoping for tonight. South Alabama in red, Louisiana in white. We're underway here from Pensacola. Moore, who plays so much bigger than his 6'1" frame would have you believe.
On cue, Isaiah Moore scoring in the paint.
He was a Division II All-American at Franklin Pierce and a first-team All-Sun Belt performer.
Now you see the quick double inside on Brown right away.
Little jumper by the opposing big man, Kevin Samuel, not really known for an outside shot. More of his damage comes inside, as you see the starting five for the Jaguars. Owen White, 12 for 24 from downtown in this event. He has been on absolute fire. He gets the ball up top here. Inside it comes. Samuel missed it, got it back, and gets fouled.
Samuel averaging almost 11 points a game and 9 boards. They don't really run their offense through him, but he just kind of smash-mouth hoops in terms of getting to the rim, getting to the free throw line. Now this is where the adventure begins for Kevin Samuel.
Yeah, 27% free throw shooter on the year, and needless to say, when you have that kind of number, there's going to be a bullseye every time you get the ball near the rim.
Early concern with Brown getting that foul. In terms of, this is a guy that Bob Marlin wants to play at least 30 minutes tonight.
And the second one spins in. You'll almost gladly take that if you're the Jaguars. Just take 1 out of 2 and a 3-0 lead for South Alabama.
It's a great matchup inside. 21 against 21.
Brown trying to carve up space. Meanwhile, the shot is fired up by Terrence Lewis.
South Alabama in the semifinals against James Madison got off to a 10-0 start. They're off to the hot start again.
Isaiah Moore is just like a fire hydrant on fire when he gets to the paint. And he is so hard to stop when he's going downhill, and he lives downhill. Step back three on the way and knocked down. That's a young man who has struggled in this tournament, but Themis Folks has had a terrific season overall for Louisiana.
That's where the defenders switched on the ball screen, and Samuel just dared him to shoot the three.
Jaguars up 2 on the Cajuns. Good crowd on hand here in Pensacola. Skip pass over to the left corner. Inside it comes. It's Brown with a paint touch. Beg your pardon, Samuel on Brown, and Kevin Samuel gets it to go.
Yeah, the left-hander likes to go back over his right shoulder.
Kevin Samuel, the Sun Belt Defensive Player of the Year, but he averages nearly a double-double, 10 points, 9 rebounds a game.
And Samuel has the body to push Brown away from the block.
There's a steal. Quick hands by Tyrell Jones behind the back. Leaves it off for White. White gets it to go with the left hand.
Another fast start out of the gates for the Jaguars.
This Louisiana squad comes in averaging over 78 points a game. I guess the question for you, Mark Wise, is if you're South Alabama, how do you contain them?
Well, again, you've got to decide what you're going to do with Brown inside. And early on, we're seeing the answer. They're doubling every time Brown gets the ball.
Tough off-balance shot that time by Isaiah Moore. Moore coming in, averaging 18.5 points per game.
There's the switch again. And there's the double. On the catch. Immediate.
Brown probes the baseline, finds a teammate, and almost an and one for Terrence Lewis, the 6'7" senior out of Upper Marlboro, Maryland. Transfer from Jackson State. Owen White whistling for the foul.
Here's the switch that I talked about. Once that happens, there's the double. So immediately Brown goes to the baseline, a nifty little interior pass. And right there, as a receiver, Lewis, did you notice how he had his hands out? So many times we see big guys late with their hands. They're down by their side, but he was actually anticipating the pass. And one of the big improvements in Brown's game is learning how to play through the double team.
You stole my thunder there. That's been an added weapon for Jordan Brown because he draws so many double teams, but he's been finding the open man. And in this case, the open man was Terrence Lewis, who splashes the free throws. It's a 4-point game. Jaguars 4 for 6 in the early going from the field. Expect this man, number 4 in red, to fire up plenty of shots tonight. And there's a steal. That's Lewis. Takes it all the way and banks it home.
That's a great job by Lewis, just anticipating the pass back to the middle third of the floor. That's where the best pick sixes happen.
Mark, I know you like the contrast in styles. Jaguars great defensively. Cajuns great offensively. That time we saw some great defense by Louisiana. Inside and a two-hand slam for Samuel.
Boy, don't you love the pace early on by both teams?
You've had plenty of time to kind of get acclimated with this event, with this floor, with these rims, and both teams looking like well-oiled machines offensively thus far.
Maybe we were the only ones nervous.
Still nervous. Oh, great defense, smothering defense that time. Brown got it back, had it rejected by Samuel. Back out up top. Fultz misfires on a three, and then Samuel boards it. Samuel now has tied the season record for blocks for the Jaguars in school history.
That was the definition of rim protection.
Now he wants it down low. Bellied up by Brown. Instead, it's going to be Jones into the corner. A three ball. Yes! Knocked down by Isaiah Moore. He splashes it home. The largest lead for the Jags at 7.
Moore just a 19% three-point shooter on the season.
Double team, Brown again. Spin move and a beautiful layup off the window and in for Fultz. And that'll bring us to our first media timeout. Electric pace to start things off. 5.5 minutes into the action and a 14-9 lead for the Jaguars.
South Alabama, here's the 19% shooter from the corner. Nothing but bottom.
Transfers for this South Alabama squad. You're talking about a Division II All-American at Franklin Pierce. He comes to the Sun Belt. Nobody has a whole lot of tape on Isaiah Moore. And immediately, Mark Wise, he becomes one of the best players in this league.
Mike, you and I had South Alabama earlier in the year against Alabama. And the Tide, They had no answer for Isaiah Moore. He's that good. He's that creative. For a guy 6'1" who does the majority of his damage down in that high rent district, that made 3 ball, that was just his 8th of the year.
We watched him last night in the semifinal, and I mean, everybody knew what was coming, but nobody could stop him. Here he comes again. He's so shifty. Again in the paint, and now will dribble out of trouble. Back on the attack. Pass to the baseline. It's Jones. Up top.
No.
Not a second one.
No.
That would have belied the numbers if he hit 2 threes for a guy hitting 18% from downtown. Louisiana a little bit off their rhythm offensively. So far, every time Jordan Brown, 21 and white, has touched it, he's been doubled. 3 ball. Gets the friendly bounce. Folks off to a good start. He's got 8 points.
Yeah, Folks is 34%, but it's obvious that the game plan for South Al is to make Folks be a 3-point shooter.
Folks now 3 for 3, 8 points. And again, nifty footwork by Isaiah Moore to just get that shot off.
He's just fun to watch. Hard to guard, fun to watch.
There's some schools in the recruiting process that would like a do-over when evaluating Isaiah Moore. He's got a game that could translate in any league. So again, Brown just suffocating defense, doubled every time he touches it.
Yeah, there's no reason to reach in. You've done what you wanted to do. You've doubled the big guy. You got him to dribble away from the double team to the corner. Don't reach in. You've got him boxed in. So many times we talk about patience on the offensive end. There's also such a thing as patience on the defensive end.
Brown is 0 for 3. And as we talked about, every time he touches it, he's drawing at least 2, sometimes 3 red jerseys. Is there any way to free him up a little bit here inside?
Well, they changed. They went to a high-low look, and I actually thought he was open. They should have thrown it in there. So instead of trying to throw it in from the wing, they're trying to throw it in high-low.
Barham had the shot blocked back into the hands of Moore. Moore with a runner. Gets the friendly bounce high off the rim.
Right now, Louisiana has no answer for Isaiah Moore.
11 points for Isaiah Moore. We haven't even played 8 minutes. Pull-up jumper misfires. Offensive rebound into the hands of Brown. 15-footer. There's his first basket.
Well, that's a good sign for Bob Marlin and Jordan Brown, but I got to believe Richie Riley will live with that shot all game long.
And as you mentioned, Jordan Brown in the last meeting between these two teams, 28 points. Needless to say, he's already at the top of every scouting report, but there's been a little bit extra attention to detail when guarding number 21 in white.
What I really like about South Alabama's team is they seem to have embraced their roles. Richie Riley knows he's got a creative point guard as you take a look in his 5th season at South Alabama. 2 years at Nicholls State, Southland Coach of the Year. But he's got a quality point guard that he gives a lot of freedom to. They call it gap. When they want Isaiah Moore to just create on his own, they call it gap. He's got wing shooters. He's got 2 40% wing shooters in White and Brown, and he's got a defensive stopper inside in Samuel. I kind of love the pieces that he's put together.
How about this for Riley? Played at Eastern Kentucky. For one of his seasons there as head coach, one Travis Ford, the former Kentucky Wildcat, who was a great player before he became a coach of his own. 6-point game here in Pensacola, under 12 minutes to go, first half. Louisiana back in the championship game for the 2nd straight year. They had a heartbreaking defeat to Georgia State last year, and all of a sudden it's raining threes.
Yeah, nice 3-point shot that time by Thomas. 33% from bonus land on the year. It's just the gamble that you take. It's the gamble that Richie Riley is taking. We're going to double team Brown, make him kick it out.
Hard to do. As a turnover that time, Isaiah Moore finally unable to keep that plant foot on the ground. 2017 electric action here in the early going. Sun Belt Championship on the line.
This exclusive presentation of college basketball is brought to you by Principal. When you take care of your team, they take care of business.
Mike Morgan, Mark Wise, back with you in Pensacola. Now in its third year hosting this event. 3 years out of a 5-year deal at the Pensacola Bay Center. Those are the parents of one Owen White, a red-hot three-point shooter for the Jaguars. That is Matty White. That's right. Owen White is one of 18 Division I college basketball players that already has a wedding band. In fact, not only does he have a wedding band, he actually has it on his shoelaces. I mean, Mark, I thought you were the romantic. This guy he makes us all look bad.
Yes, I agree.
And he lets everybody know he's thinking about his wife with his wedding band on the shoelaces of his left sneaker. I mean, that'll beat flowers and chocolate any day. There's Brown. Now he's starting to get Brown more involved in the offense. 2 baskets. He's got 4.
That's a different look out of the timeout. Great call by the staff of Louisiana to give South Alabama a different look, a different way to get the ball to Jordan Brown.
Here is the aforementioned White on the baseline. He draws a quick double. Bounce pass into the corner. It's Moore trying to do some damage in the paint. That time the shot was either altered or blocked by Joe Charles. Here's Thomas, measured up a 3, instead goes inside Brown. And Brown draws the foul, a bump foul. That's on number 20, that's on Marshall Geary.
Last possession by Louisiana. Brown starts out at one elbow. It's a horn set. They screen for him kind of diagonally. And so he's able to get the ball before any kind of help or double team can get there. That's a great call on the ATO, the after timeout.
Brown, the preseason player of the year in the Sun Belt. Here's Brown showing a little mid-range game. Look out, Jordan Brown is heating up. 6 points now.
Yeah, that will change how you defend Jordan Brown.
A 9-2 run gives the Cajuns their first lead of the night. Inside, stolen away, great anticipation. Here come the Cajuns, up by a point and in the front court.
That's great anticipating that time by Dalcourt off the ball.
A rough shot and miss will give it right back to the Jaguars. Last time South Alabama was in the NCAA tournament, 2008. That was as an at-large. Oh, nifty move in the paint by Parham. The Jaguars made it that year as an at-large. Darren Horn's Western Kentucky team won the Sun Belt and wound up going to the Sweet 16 that year. It's the last time that the Sun Belt has had an at-large team.
Well, this has been a cleanly played first 10 minutes. Offenses right now better than the defenses.
Do you worry about South Alabama playing the extra game fatigue factor?
Yeah, the minutes played. I mean, when you take a look at what they did last night, Moore played 34 minutes, Jones 35, White 36. All that adds up.
Slip and fall, but a little bit of help on the push that time. The foul will go against Dalcourt. Dalcourt, a senior and one of 8 Louisiana natives on the Cajuns roster.
Parham was trying to score back-to-back hoops. Parham in the first game of the tournament only had 1 point against App State. He said enough of that because he has responded with 17 against Southern Miss in that upset over the top-seeded Southern Miss squad, and then 16 in the semifinals against James Madison. Double figures 15 times this year.
You see the 6'10" Isaiah Richards giving Jordan Brown a breather. 8 of the 9 buckets for the Jaguars have come from inside the paint, but that one is from downtown. That's Parham.
I think one of the things that coaches have gotten really creative with on their out-unders is utilizing the guy who takes it out.
4-point lead for the underdogs, South Alabama. 8.5 to go here in the first half. It's Jones finding the big man. Beautiful action, beating Kevin Samuel on the slam, and a timeout called by Louisiana and head coach Bob Marlin. 7-0 run for the Jags. Coming up later on tonight, we have the semifinals of the University Credit Union WCC tournament as BYU takes on St. Mary's at 9 Eastern on ESPN, and Gonzaga and San Francisco face off at 11:30 Eastern time on ESPN2. Both games streaming on the app as well. He is the coach, Mark Wise. I am Mike Morgan. Great to be with you for another Sun Belt Championship. Exciting action so far.
I am going to be up late tomorrow night watching that final.
You're always up late watching college basketball.
Yes,
How does that make it different from any other night this time of year? I think we all get a little bit of insomnia with the action in the month of March, and I'm okay to sacrifice some sleep in favor of some good hoops.
And I'll be watching all the noon games on Thursday as well.
Yes. Wake up with it. Steady diet from noon to midnight. Nothing wrong with that. Jaguars living in the paint, and there's Samuel getting hammered. You know, we talk so much about Jordan Brown, but here's Kevin Samuel, and he's a terrific story. He's out of Barbuda. Barbuda, which just sounds like a beautiful place to be, right?
Yes.
It's near the Bahamas. It's in a very tropical climate, and they don't play a ton of basketball in Barbuda. In fact, he didn't start playing until age 15. You know what sport he played before that? How about cricket? That's right, Mark Wise. This big man played cricket before he picked up a basketball. Goes to Florida Gulf Coast before he transfers into Mobile in South Alabama, and he has been such a find. He's the NCAA's active leader in rebounds with over 1,300, in block shots with nearly 400. Third team All Sun Belt, and just a great addition to patrol the paint for the Jags. But that is the Achilles heel, the free throw shooting.
And missing 2 free throws is no different than a turnover.
Yep. Under 8 to play. 6-point lead for the number 8 seed. Folks whips it over to the wing, now into the corner. Baseline drive, reverse layup is good. That was just a terrific take by Kobe Julian. Kobe Julian,
He's a great story.
he's a terrific story. He was an all Sun Belt performer and then had a 4th knee surgery on the same knee. So he's had to really fight through that. You'll notice that large brace on his left knee, not the same type of explosiveness that he once had.
And he got hurt late last year, so he actually missed the first 12 games of this season in rehab.
Folks, nifty move. Themis Folks, the 6'2 sophomore from Winston-Salem, and he's got 10 early points.
Fultz kind of put on his Isaiah Moore hat with that move. That kind of quickness.
Folks known for his distribution. He led the Sun Belt 6 assists a game. He's already above his season point total average with 10. 3 ball from the wing. That misses everything. But an offensive rebound. 3 on the shot clock. Scramble picked up by Louisiana.
How did Moore get that pass back out between legs?
Folks guarded by White. Here's Jordan Brown back in the game, and he is fouled. Big on big. Kevin Samuel, Jordan Brown. The battle of the bigs that would be featured for much of tonight.
We talked about in the 2 games that Brown was so good. 23 in one, 28 in the other. He actually got 23 in the first game when Samuel didn't play.
Well, Samuel is the Sun Belt Defensive Player of the Year, and he will be trying to defend that man, the best offensive big this season in the Sun Belt Conference. Straight on 3. Got it. Knocked down. They like to shoot the 3 ball. That's Kentrell Garnett. How about this? Now 128 of his 163 shots have been from behind the arc, where he shoots 43%.
That's exactly right. You cannot allow him to just be a catch and shoot guy.
Louisiana back on top by a point. They work it around the perimeter. The Jaguars do. Drive and just throwing it up at the rim after the whistle is Isaiah Moore.
So good in terms of utilizing his quickness to attract fouls, get to the free throw line.
I want to know, who are the football coaches that didn't try to sign this young man as a defensive back? I mean, could you imagine trying to get open if you're a wide receiver against Isaiah Moore?
I know one thing. I know that Owen White benefits. I know that Judah Brown benefits in terms of those quality 3-point shooters, because if you get open, if you move without the ball, Moore will find you. He has 150 assists on the year.
Yeah, it averages nearly 5 assists a game, 18.5 points per game. That's the 4th highest total in the Sun Belt. Leads the team in steals with nearly 1.5 a game.
Mike, don't you kind of get the feel? I thought it would take a while for these 2 teams to figure each other out. I think they're both in the middle of the ring right now, just duking it out.
Totally. We got haymakers on both sides, and we've got a big-time swat, that time by Samuel. 3 on the other end. A brick fired off by Garnett. Tie ball game. 5.5 to play here in the first half. There is Moore. Nobody plays the game quite like Isaiah Moore at that 6'1", 195-pound frame.
From the dribble to the time he releases it, it is a blur.
16 points for Moore. And a second straight miss by Garnett. One hit the backboard. That one hit nothing.
He was wide open, too. They ran good action in terms of screen the screener, little flare move.
He will take a seat.
To your point you asked me about earlier, South Alabama and all the minutes that they have played in this tournament. Louisiana is the deeper team.
Right.
They will go deeper into their bench than South Alabama will.
Yeah, Jaguars essentially play 8 guys, any type of quality minutes, and Louisiana has more depth going for them, as well as a fresher team coming into this game. White has been quiet. Kills the dribble, throws it up there off the window and in.
High degree of difficulty.
That's not exactly Owen White's game, but he'll gladly take the deuce. Brown high post, bottled up on another double team. Gets it back. Again, Coffin corner now, needs some help. And it will remain Louisiana basketball. Jordan Brown is saying, guys, I need help. Come to me.
Well, what he's talking about, anytime a big guy gets double teamed, let's go back to this Owen White move first. Watch this. The left-hander wants to go over his right shoulder, wants to pass it, wants to throw it out. No, I'm just going to go off the window and score.
And another foul on the Jaguars.
So what Brown was talking about, Mike, anytime a big guy gets double teamed, he needs to see two things every time. He needs to see a cutter and a three-point shooter. So if you're a three-point shooter and you're stuck on the other side of the floor, he can't see you.
Right.
So you've got to become a cutter.
Yeah, he looked a little too stagnant.
He had four teammates going, oh, look, he's getting double teamed.
Sooner or later, he'll find me.
That's a quality out under play.
Great look, just missed. A little too strong out of the right hand of Kobe Julian. Jaguars up by 4 with the basketball. Downhill comes Moore. Leaves it up for a teammate. And sets up the 3 for Tyrell Jones, the man they call Turbo. 8-0 run for South Alabama.
But again, who sets it all up?
Isaiah Moore.
Here, again, they're trying to run this high-low, and they're missing Brown when he presents himself.
Oh, all of a sudden, Dalcourt found himself open. He pumped the brakes, was looking for a teammate, and then realized he had no resistance.
I think Dalcourt gave him a little offensive punch off the bench in that semifinal win against Texas State, a game where points were hard to come by.
Transfer from San Jose State. They try to feed the big man inside. Samuel coughs it up.
Yeah, you can't bounce it in there to the bigs.
6 turnovers on the Jags. Inside, Brown is hammered and held by Samuel.
Well, we talked about two teams in the middle of the ring going at each other. South Al, it's the niftiness, the creativity of Isaiah Moore setting up his teammate. Jaguars on top.
A year ago, he was playing in Division II in New Hampshire, and he has 16 points and is 24 minutes away from leading his team to the NCAA tournament.
Well, Greg Williams has got to get going for Louisiana, and Jordan Brown has got to continue to find a way to find cutters, make passes, but at the same time, go to the basket every time he gets that ball in the paint.
Mike, Mark, see you at the half.
Zubin, gang, thank you so much. And yeah, Isaiah Moore has certainly been a story. That guy was a story in the ring for several years. We were making boxing analogies earlier. We had no idea Roy Jones Jr. was in the crowd, but what we do know, he was born in Pensacola, and here he is back in his hometown. Be very polite to him, Mark. Yes. Please, don't become unruly. Brown back iron on the free throw. 5-point game, South Alabama, the number 8 seed, trying to pull off the upset they have led most of this first half. Thanks in large part to that man who almost dropped another dime. No finish that time off a great feed by Isaiah Moore. 3-ball, corner, got it. That is down court. And again, Louisiana loves the 3-ball, and they shoot it extremely well. 38% as a team. That's one of the top 15 marks in the country.
What a find.
3 on the other end. Rims off. Brown grabs the carom. And Louisiana has a chance to tie or take the lead with a 3.
Dalcourt is doing exactly what he did last night in the semifinals, giving the Cajuns a little offensive punch off the bench. So here's a different look again because they're trying to post up a different player and bring Brown late to the action. You got to shoot that 3.
Brown blocked from behind. Who got it? It looked like Tyrell Jones, the 6'2" guard.
Brown made the right play, kicking it to Fulks. He's got to shoot that 3.
Approaching the 2-minute mark here in Pensacola in a 2-point game. Jaguars have not been to the big dance since 2008. Moore pivots. Look at that footwork. And then Brown rebounds it.
Numbers. Attack.
Brown inside. Wants it. Left hand. Left it short.
I thought he got fouled on the way.
The pace of this first half, you wonder if we might have a little more fatigue in the second.
But this pace is outstanding.
A lot of fun to watch, that's for sure.
How about this isolation for your 6'1" point guard?
There he is backing in the bigger opponents. Beautiful feed and the finish. My goodness, carrying on the finish, Isaiah Moore at 6'1", loves to play high post, put his back to the defender, and then just make things happen.
I talked about Samuel not playing in the first game. Well, Carring had 15 in his absence. But again, it's the creativity of Isaiah Moore. Attracting defenders, especially down in that high-rent district. Man, wouldn't you love to be a big guy playing with Moore? Because he's going to find you.
Absolutely. He draws so much attention and makes so many plays for his teammates. Final 68 seconds of the half coming up. Here in the first half, 16 points on 6 of 10 shooting. What a find he has been at a Division II Franklin Pierce in New Hampshire. Of course, he is a big reason why South Alabama has even gotten to this point. Louisiana was expected to make it to the championship game, their second straight year to get this far, but they haven't punched their ticket in a while. You got to go back to 2015.
Yeah, when Fulks drives and picks up his dribble, all he's doing is attracting and making the traffic defensively really condensed, makes it even more difficult to get the ball to Brown.
Under a minute to go, first half, steps that time. Fancy footwork, a little too fancy by Greg Williams. That is Bob Marlin in his 13th season. He turned 64 years young yesterday. Happy birthday to the longtime Louisiana coach. A year ago yesterday at this event, his mother passed away. He was driving back and forth an hour from Pensacola. White inside, bottled up, needs help. Instead has it knocked away. Let's go back to Marlin. He was going back and forth between Pensacola and Louisiana, and even throughout all that, still coaching his team in the championship game. But you know he had to be doing so with a heavy heart.
You could see the wear and tear on him.
He was an exhausted man at that point, as anybody would be. White pulls the trigger on a three. He's been quiet so far in this half.
We'll credit the defense, yes, because they are with him every step of the way at the arc. Last shot opportunity.
4-point game, shot clock off. Folks surveys. See if they get Brown on a post. He is carving out space now. He wants it. Give it to the big man. And great defense, not getting away from behind. Kearing did. He saw the pass coming in and did all he could to just deflect it out of bounds.
Bob Marlin wanted a foul. Felt like Kearing was on the back of Brown to knock that away. Plenty of time to get a shot. You don't have to catch and shoot here.
Comes into Folks, one dribble, launches the three, and off the side of the backboard. That is how an exciting first half will come to an end. The Jaguars shooting 63% from the field, and their dynamic guard, Isaiah Moore, leading away with 16. 4-point game at the half here in Pensacola. And one of the most dominating big men in any conference. He was held in check in that first half. Jordan Brown with just 6 points.
How good was the South Alabama defense in the 2 games against USA this year? Louisiana averaged 41 points a game in the paint. They only had 14 in the first 20.
Another great take. That time Moore just missed it off to the right.
Here's another way you can score. Be a little more aggressive in transition. Look for earlier offense.
There's a quick three. Hits the back iron. Rebound out to Tyrell Jones, the former Auburn Tiger. Jaguars come into this game 19-15. They did not get off to a great start this season. However, they have won 8 out of the last 9. They're one of the hottest teams going, and you can see they picked up their play at the most important time of the year here in March.
Looks to me like Louisiana has come out with a little bit more of a vibe on their defense. It's a little more aggressive. They're challenging passes a little bit more. You can't let him get the ball there.
Isaiah Moore is a pump fake artist, Mark Wise. He is a young man at 6'1", lives in the paint, and there's all these fakes he throws at you, and everybody falls for it.
Yeah, Charles fell asleep, got a little lock need. That allowed Moore to receive the bounce pass in play, and my goodness is he creative down there.
Three-point play for the D2 transfer out of Franklin Pierce College. That ties the largest lead for the Jaguars, 7 points.
Big trip here early in the second for Louisiana. See, folks, has got to shoot that.
It's going to be a kick basketball, I believe, or they're going to call a foul.
It's such a poor passing angle. Just to the right, top of the key, trying to feed the left post, the left block area. Take another look at the passing angle. See where folks is? Look where they're defending him.
There is no angle there.
Fortunate. Yeah, there was a foul call.
And they did give Brown a foul, his third. There's Jordan Brown. 8 points now for Jordan Brown.
That's the first time he has done that baseline spin and beat the double.
We haven't been able to see a whole lot of it because of the defense implemented by the Jaguars. But Jordan Brown is so nifty around the rim. I mean, he has a plethora of big-time post moves. White backing in. Threw that one at the rim. Off the mark. The rebound out to the Cajuns. Down by 5. 2 minutes into the second half.
So I'd like to see Brown do more of a rim run. Right down the middle of the floor, turn around and plant yourself.
Instead, he turns it over. Sloppy pass. That's the third turnover on Louisiana.
Who deflected the pass? Oh, yeah, Isaiah Moore.
Venus Folks is the point guard. Transfer from Dodge City Community College. Here's Brown. Paint touch. Goes right at the Sun Belt Defensive Player of the Year and drew a foul either on Samuel or on Isaiah Moore. They'll give it to Isaiah Moore. That's his first foul.
Brown is trying to do a little swim move, if you will, a football term,
I like it.
in terms of beating the double. It's not the same double team when the guy at the top, though, is Moore at 6'1". Remember, they've been doing that with Judah Brown, and he's 6'6".
Now a holding foul on the inbounds. The Jaguars pick up 3 early fouls here in this second half. Brown goes right at Samuel and draws the foul. Jordan Brown, it just looks like a more determined Jordan Brown now that he knows what's coming.
And I think it's more definitive. When he gets the ball this time, watch and see how quick this head fake is. Watch this right here. A little turn to the middle, back to the wide side of the floor, and then go spin baseline.
Fires on the first. Don't forget we have you covered on Selection Sunday. It all starts at noon Eastern on ESPN with college basketball live to prep the day at 6. Reese and the guys look at the men's field at 68 as the brackets are announced, and at 8 it's the women's field, and then at 10 even more coverage of both brackets. Everything also streaming on the ESPN app. Sun Belt Championship here in Pensacola. History will be made for one of these two programs, both of which have not been to the big dance in quite some time. 2014, the last time Louisiana made it. That was under head coach Bob Marlin. You got to go back to 2008 for the Jaguars.
Mike, you know why, one of the reasons why Moore is so difficult to guard. It would be easy to say just back off of him. He immediately senses that and takes away that space. And you just can't keep backing off all the way to the rim.
Well, we showed the shot of Roy Jones Jr. earlier. He's built like a middleweight boxer. Shot clock under 10 for Jones. Dicing and slicing his way into the basket of the finish.
Had 10 in the semifinal win yesterday against JMU. Double figures 15 times this year. He's capable.
Folks weaving and sneaks it in on the reverse layup. Nifty move that time by Themis Folks.
He actually beat the shot blocker because Samuel was trying to measure the dribble.
4-point game. Moore. Quick trigger. Missed it that time, though.
But did you see the way he goes into the chest of the defender to create just enough of a space, and his quickness with the release?
For a guy at 6'1" who lives in the paint, he rarely gets his shot blocked. Crossover. Pump fake. Shot off the glass and in. Folks heating up, and so too are the Cajuns. It's a 2-point game. $14 points for Themis Folks. Moore goes to work up top, crosses over, angles it down low, double team quickly. Samuel gets it back, throws it up there, and gets it to go with 2 on the shot clock, plus the foul.
Two teams absolutely, Mike Morgan, in the middle of the ring right now, duking it out.
Belt Championship, one of these teams about to punch their ticket to the NCAA tournament. South Alabama, certainly an underdog as a number 8 seed, but don't tell that to Isaiah Moore, who continues to shine. 19 points already in this game. Roy Jones Jr., also from the city of Pensacola. And you can make the case, Mark Wise. We've had a lot of punches thrown in this game. Somebody's going to deliver a knockout punch. When you look at Isaiah Moore, he's built like a boxer. I mean, Roy Jones was a champion in 4 different weight classes. I don't know what weight class Isaiah Moore is in right now. I know one thing. He's in a class of his own in terms of guard play.
He's in the unguardable class. I do think this is going to go the distance, though.
Yeah.
I wouldn't be shocked if we have a 1-possession game with 1 minute to go.
I'm all for it. I am all for that. Again, South Alabama's the 8th seed, but it's a little bit misleading because at the beginning of the year, both these teams were in the preseason top 4. Jaguars with a really quality transfer class, which has been the secret to Richie Riley now in his 5th year.
And they had a middle stretch in league play where they lost 4 straight games by a total of 13 points.
Yeah, a little heartbreak hotel before they found a groove. Speaking of finding a groove, Jordan Brown can find his groove at any time.
But the double team man changed. Parham was the double team in terms of Brown, and he overpowered him.
If you watch the last few minutes of the semifinal victory, Jordan Brown put on his show. He was going left hand, right hand, off the glass, baseline, fadeaways, everything in his bag of tricks. Great defense, almost a steal. Shot clock is at 6. Racing into front court, Parham. Going to pull up from 17. Rims off. And it's tapped around. Samuel saves it. What a heads-up play by Kevin Samuel.
Effort play to give his team a second shot, a second chance. See if they double more again off this screen like they did last time.
Just bowling his way in, but a little too bullish was Tyrell Jones. That's going to be an offensive foul.
I had said more, but I was talking about Jones. Take about another look. Here comes the double, but it's not the same guy. So it's a baseline move, spin back to the middle. But I think you mentioned this earlier. He seems more definitive.
Yes. And he wants it here. I mean, he's not wasting any time. That time, a tough fadeaway shot. Left it short.
But that's not a good decision. That's a shot you don't want. That's when the double team wins.
Speaking of winning, another win on a downhill drive by Isaiah Moore as he gets the contact and the foul. I don't know how you defend Isaiah Moore. He's like a unicorn the way he is able to play at his size with his strength and quickness.
You have to eliminate angles. You must put your eyes in the middle of his chest and not deviate.
Misses the first free throw. Don't forget, Wednesday in the NBA, our doubleheader starts at the Big Easy with Brandon Ingram and the Pelicans hosting Luka and the Mavs at 7:30 Eastern Time, and then it's off to LA for the Raptors and the Clippers. Coverage tips off with NBA Countdown at 7 o'clock. Moore splits the freebies. 3-point game. Jaguars leading the Cajuns. Ocean of red in the stands, the main color for both these teams, and red hot from downtown is Dalcourt. He continues to smoke it from behind the arc, and we're tied at 45.
That was a great call from the bench in terms of half-court action.
Jones, Parham on an open 3. Back iron. And Brown just could not corral it. He had it in his hands and then lost it out of bounds. Brown already has another double-double, 11 points and 12 rebounds. That's his 10th double-double of the season.
Right now, Kevin Samuel is giving Louisiana fits on the offensive glass. There's a little screen-the-screener play for White.
Jones lost the handle, finds White in the corner, up top to Moore with 10 on the shot clock. Inside, Samuel hammered. And another trip to the free throw line for number 21 in red, Kevin Samuel. But again, If you're wondering why they are so apt to foul Samuel, 27% at the line.
Sensational timing on the pass, though, by Jones. Pocket pass between defenders. Gets Samuel back to the free throw line.
If he gets it down there, he's going to get hacked every time. That's clearly part of the strategy.
Both teams already with 5 fouls, so we might be headed to the bonus early in this half. So free throw shooting might become paramount.
He looked like he was 90% on the year with that stroke.
That looked totally different, didn't it?
Yeah.
Had great arc. The spin came off his hands correctly. Watch the spin on the ball. The rotation. But you can live with that miss.
Pretty good looking stroke on both of them. Jaguars up by the narrowest of margins, 46-45.
You know, Mike, if I'm Bob Marlin, I feel like the team's kind of not played its best basketball, and you're down 1.
Yeah, you feel like at some point the seal is going to be broken. Louisiana's going to go on a run. Beautiful feed, down low, and there's the finish. Terrence Lewis.
Fultz is passing up threes, but I like him as an assist guy.
The league's leading assist man, averaging a half-dozen dimes a game. Inside. Oh, missed the bunny that time, did Samuel. I think he was expecting a foul that never came. Full throttle into front court. Brown from 15. Pops out. Offensive rebound and stick back for Lewis. Cajuns with the lead, 49-46 and a timeout.
Terrence Lewis has 8 double-doubles on the year, and he's provided a lift. And for the first time, Louisiana with a little Big Mo.
PM on the ACC network and the app. There is the field. There is the bracket. Who is the favorite in your eyes, Mark Wise?
Well, again, I like Miami because I like guards in a tournament format like this where you have to play multiple days, multiple times. But I will say this, Carolina, I think it's simple. You have to beat Virginia, period. Beat Virginia, I think you're in.
I'm going to lean on the fighting Filipowskis of Duke to go ahead and surprise.
Okay, we're in the same bracket. Remember, everybody asks us as we take a look at the last 4 in, first 4 out, everybody always asks me, how can our team win and lose ground? Well, it depends on what other teams do around you. So not only do you have to root for your team, you have to root against other teams on the bubble.
That's right. And you also, it's who you beat. That's not just picking up W's. Who did you beat this time of year can certainly go a long way in the metrics. Second half, the Jaguars have cooled off just 30% from the field.
No double team. That's one Brown usually makes.
USA down by 3. Rare mistake by Isaiah Moore. Tried to thread the needle, can't do it. Turnover on the play. It's a Louisiana ball up by 3 when we come back from Pensacola. Tournament since 2014, Jordan Brown is going to be front and center. He's got 11 points, he's got 13 rebounds, so he eclipses 500 rebounds for his career. He's already in rare territory, 1,000 points, 500 rebounds. The apple doesn't fall far from the tree. Father Dion Brown, who also played at Louisiana back in the early 80s, 1,412 points, 926 career rebounds. And if you're thinking of a water cooler fact of the day for this week back in the office, how about father-son?
Oh, my goodness.
Father-son combos that each had 1,000 points and 500 rebounds. The Waltons, the Mays, the Harpers, and the Sampsons. That is elite company. The only 2 to do it at the same university, that would be Jordan and Dion Brown.
High-low with the 2 bigs. Lewis missed Brown.
Reverse layup spun in there. Creative play, just being patient along the baseline by Themis Fultz.
Samuel got occupied trying to defend Brown.
11-2 run for Louisiana in the last 4 minutes and change. I'm going to go back to the question I asked you earlier, Mark Wise. They're not as deep. USA is not, and they've had to play the extra game in this tournament. Fatigue, is it setting in?
Well, let's keep an eye on that, because I'm going to answer that question this way. In the first half, South Alabama shot 63%. But a lot of that was Isaiah Moore. He has not been quite as effective here in the second half. Do I think it's fatigue with Moore? Not necessarily. But the script has flipped, because here in the second half, Louisiana has shot 63%.
White determined to get to the basket and takes it strong. Little bully ball played that time by Owen White.
Again, he's a left-hander. You should take a look at his family in attendance today. Left-hander is always going to go back over his right shoulder.
Wife Maddie also in attendance, happy to watch her hubby put up some points here in the second half. Approaching 10 minutes to go here in the Sun Belt Championship. Deep three! Folks with a heat check. He's got 19.
The defenders have dared Folks to take that three shot the entire game. And this is what you don't want to do if you're Louisiana, because you've already put South Alabama into the bonus. You don't need to foul 40 feet away.
Well, to your point on daring Folks to shoot the three, remember he came in shooting just 31%. Like, they've got some bombers that are lethal behind the arc. He's not necessarily one of them, and yet tonight he has found his range. 1-1. First free throw up and in for Isaiah Moore, who shoots 72% at the stripe.
Yeah, this is letting South Alabama off the hook offensively.
2 for 2. Comley buries a pair and closes to within 4. Brown taking it right in on the shot blocker, Samuel. And a holding foul. They've got South Alabama's. I believe that's going to be on Parham. Yes, Parham will be whistled for the foul. 16 fouls now on the Jaguars.
I think this is a cylinder foul, because Parham got into the cylinder of Brown. Watch the double team. Here it comes. He's got hands on him. He's in his space. That's a good call. Now Brown's got to be careful about leading with elbows trying to beat the double. Well, they're going to take a look at this. I had just mentioned he's got to be careful about leading with the doubles.
Well, anytime it's contact with an elbow above the shoulders, you're going to see a review, and you're going to see the referees making sure we're not looking at anything that rises to the level of a fragrant foul.
The ball needs to be above his head or below his head for this to be a legal move. And see, I think the ball kind of stays below. I don't think he kind of got it up in his face area. You can swim with the ball. It's close, but I thought he got fouled first.
Yeah.
I'm saying this is a play on.
You don't think flagrant?
I don't think flagrant on this one.
Yeah. Our officials tonight: Don Daly, the veteran; Byron Jarrett, Owen Short. The verdict is in, and they will say common foul. No flagrant, so we will press on.
I'm 1 for 1 in this March.
Yeah, that's right. Undefeated in March.
That's madness in itself.
That kind of momentum surely will carry you to the NIT. Perhaps. I just put the whammy on it.
Yeah, no kidding.
11 points, 13 rebounds for Jordan Brown. You know, he started off his career at Arizona, and it's not your typical story of maybe a guy that wasn't ready for that level and then he transfers down to a mid-major. He was the Pac-12 Freshman of the Year. Great shot by Jordan Brown there. But then you had the turmoil with Sean Miller, etc. A lot of players defected, and he decided, let me go where my pops went, and it's been a marriage made in heaven. Jaguars working around. that time. Passing up the three was more. Instead, he's going to do what he does best. Play downhill and get buckets at the rim.
He is so quick, can cross over in front of you, get to the rim. But again, I talked about this in the first half. The speed at which he takes the ball from off the bounce to his release point is lightning quick.
And then finding daylight is Fulks. We've got a Moore Fulks showdown. Moore with 24, Fulks with 21.
Again, Brown is attracting so many defenders. Driving lanes are open for the Cajuns.
Moore bullies his way in there and kisses the glass. I don't know how you stop it, but it's a lot of fun to watch.
I think you've got to plant your feet and don't go with every fake. And if you miss out, you just miss out.
Michelangelo of pump fakes. Brown banging in, triple teamed and lost the basketball. Now it's going to be a jump ball and the arrow goes the other way.
Brown actually tried an ill-advised behind-the-back pass.
Yeah, I thought.
In traffic.
Not a time for style points when you're bottled up in between three defenders.
And the two big guys, a little slow to get up.
You just know Jordan Brown and Kevin Samuel before this game. Talk about a boxing match. I mean, these are two of the more productive big men in this league. And here they go, mano a mano.
The ill-advised pass. Brown is the first one to the deck. I just think Samuel got his leg a little bit caught. Nothing there in terms of a flagrant nature.
All right, you've talked about how to stop Isaiah Moore, or at least contain him. They haven't figured that out yet. If you are South Alabama, I mean, you just keep hitting the replay button here and
gap.
Stopped it.
Gap. Allow Isaiah Moore to do what he does best with their gap call.
A little full court pressure here.
Which means you other guys get out of the way and allow Moore to attack the gap.
Thomas will bring it in front court. Now it's into the hands of number 4 in red, Isaiah Moore.
And according to KenPom, he's number 4 in the country in terms of percent usage. You can see why.
Oh, goodness. Moore threads the needle to Kevin Samuel. And what do we have here? We have a whistle after the basket. And they're going to go to the review. We will check that out and clear that up when we come back. 7:54 to go.
So far for South Alabama, it's been the Isaiah Moore show, especially with his ability to score like a big block to block.
Final seconds, Steve, for Wilmington.
Nick Farrar takes it to the midline and just cannot complete. We're going to overtime, but not to worry. Farrar in overtime with the spin and the lefty with the sweet touch. Great job by Coach Siddle. The UNC Wilmington Seahawks are on to the championship game.
Great stuff, Zubin. Great time of year for these type of moments. Have a feeling we might have something special brewing in the final 7:54 here in Pensacola. While we were away, and referee Byron Jarrett just came over, I don't know if we're going to see it there, but Isaiah Richards is going to be tagged with a flagrant foul. Did you see anything, Mark?
Well, not yet, but it's a, let's just say it's a below the belt kind of thing. And that leads to a flagrant 2, which will be 2 shots and the ball for the offending team.
I mean, that is a devastating mistake at this point in the game. You give the Jaguars a chance to tie it at the line and the basketball. And again, Samuel, this is by far and away where he struggles the most. And of course, for Isaiah Richards now, he is done. disqualified after the flagrant 2 foul.
Mike, I always say this. It's okay to play with emotion, but you cannot play emotionally. And that's what I think got Richard, because they've been tangled with each other for a few minutes.
And well, the thing that
you can't get in the last lick.
Right. And I give our officials credit. We certainly didn't see it. We're correct, court and center, but they caught it, and it's something you have to call, and it winds up being a huge call. Now, the free throws, of course, are not made, but you do get the basketball after the flagrant foul. That misses for Isaiah Moore off the back iron, so it's still a 2-point game.
It just seems like Moore didn't miss that shot in the first half.
Correct. Didn't miss much of anything in the first half. He's cooled off a little bit here in the second. Louisiana obviously has heated up after a 2-point lead. They've trailed by as many as 7. Brown bottled up again.
Gotta kick it out.
Brown's got to find somebody. Finally finds a teammate. They work it around the horn. Up top, beautiful motion and a 3. Misfired. Left it short, did Garnett.
I love the extra pass.
Everything but the bucket for the Cajuns. 7 minutes to play.
Now, why is South Alabama so willing to utilize shot clock at this early stage? Because you have the ball in this guy's hand.
And you have 2 more free throws coming up for Isaiah Moore. He's 7 of 9 from the line. He's got 26 points, and he continues to put on a clinic in the paint.
Almost NBA creativity in terms of getting the defender to utilize his arms, and Moore just goes into it.
Moore's career high is 31. He is well on his way. Too strong on that free throw. Don't forget, later on tonight we've got the semis ESPN and ESPN2. It's the University Credit Union WCC tournament, BYU St. Mary's, and then Gonzaga and San Francisco. 1-point game, Pensacola, Sun Belt Championship. The NCAA tournament is on the line for these 2 programs.
But missed opportunities at the free throw line by South Alabama.
10 of 20. So 10 free throws missed so far for the Jaguars.
No double.
Paint touch Brown. Now the double comes late. Kicks it back out. Open 3 on the way. Got it! Beautiful. Jordan Brown with an assist to Dalcourt.
The Dalcourt's been the X factor in the game, but I love the kick out.
Third 3 of the game for Dalcourt. He's got 11. Moore slices, dices, bucket.
Goodness. In some ways, it's almost 1 against 5.
Because everybody knows.
Call.
Right,
yeah,
everybody
knows where it's going.
You know where he's going. You not only know who is going to take the shot, you know where he's going to do the damage. Now, you don't know where those series of pump fakes might come and which direction he's going to come.
Again, Brown. I love the kick out and repost. Absolutely.
Here comes the double. Brown squeezes it out to Folks and missed it too strong. Tapped around. Pinballed out of bounds. And it will be it will be Louisiana ball.
Where each coach, each team grinding out possessions down the stretch.
You hear the Jaguar fans and you look at head coach Richie Riley with an incredulous look on his face now in his 5th year. Talk about grinding. He worked his way around several jobs where he got the one that he wanted, trying to lead his Jaguars here. But there's Terrence Lewis, who just came off the bench and hits a big bucket.
But a great decision by Dalcourt. Oh, miscommunication. Parham had just cut to the basket to set up the offense at the same time that Moore was delivering a pass.
9th turnover on the Jaguars. Cannot be careless with the basketball here in the final 5 minutes of this championship game.
So let's keep our eye on 5 White. That's Dalcourt, because they're utilizing him in a screen to try and free up Brown, and then allowing Dalcourt to go around, and it's almost a screen the screener. Here comes one screen by Dalcourt.
Folks to Brown, mid-range. The Jaguars will rebound it.
Cannot settle for shots right now. Get the shot you want. I don't think that's the shot Bob Marlin wanted.
We know what the Jaguars want. A shot from that guy Moore, but it pops out. Hit the rim twice. And then a steal. Here's Parham. Trying to find a teammate. Parham says, no, I'll take it. And maybe not the best look.
How about the all-out effort by Lewis?
4-point game, 4 minutes and change to go, and Louisiana burns a timeout. Bob Marlin says, let's talk this over. 4:15. That is all that is left in determining who gets to go to the big dance from the Sun Belt Conference. On the rise, I would certainly agree with that assessment. Somebody is going to add their name to the tickets punch list after the final 4 minutes and 15 seconds of this one are played. We might need more. We might need more depending on how this goes. A 63-59 score right now. It's Louisiana, the number 2 seed. Louisiana with a net ranking top 100. They've been one of the top mid-major teams this season. That is the commissioner, Keith Gill. We were chatting with him earlier today. And Keith Gill, his goal is to get the Sun Belt, with all the expansion that they've had, quality expansion I might add, and the level of play that's been improved in this league, he wants to see the Sun Belt be more than just a one-bid league, which is what it is right now. Great defense, quick hands, and a steal that time by Tyrell Jones.
What did we learn today? Last year at this time, there were no teams in the Sun Belt in the top 100 of the net.
Right.
This year, there are 4.
Yes, the level of play in this league, you and I have watched it grown over the years. Not a bad look, but Parham can't find it.
Now, Fulks has got to do a better job with his spacing in trying to do an entry pass to Brown down low.
3.5 minutes remaining in this one from Pensacola.
High-low, had the lob.
Oh, Brown was open, guarded by the smaller White. Drifting shot off the mark, and a rebound that time by Jones. Great defense.
That's another settled shot, though.
Moore, how much left does he have in the tank? Whips it to White on a 3.
He was saying he got fouled immediately. Now this is where Brown has to get a touch, doesn't he?
You would certainly think so. Samuel is there to defend him. You certainly don't want Brown out here. Now he'll go find his spot in the lane. Drive, left-handed shot, and almost an and one by Fulks.
Wow. Talk about a high degree of difficulty, because he dribbled that ball left-handed, scooped it left-handed without his right hand ever being a helper. And now Fulks at the free throw line. 70% on the year.
21 points.
Here's a place that Louisiana has not gone to very often today, just 5 times.
In the first trip tonight for Fulks. Five-point ball game.
This will be interesting, because I think Charles is coming in for Lewis, a little defense, offensive substitution, and I think you'll see Charles guard Moore. They're going to try and put some size on Isaiah Moore.
New career high for Themis Fulks, 23 points. And now, if you're the Jaguars, down by 6, these possessions become crucial. It's the largest lead Louisiana has had all game.
Dalcourt is simply denying Isaiah Moore the ball.
Parham lost his footing. White corrals it into the corner. Pump fake. Shot up and a foul. Turbo Jones was determined to get to the free throw line, and that's exactly what he's earned, a trip to the stripe.
Yeah, it wasn't very pretty, was it? Almost a turnover. Take another look. Parham loses his footing, is able to kick it out. White saves it. The corner three is there, but Jones decides to pass it up, attacks the rim, gets the free throw line.
Fourth foul on Garnett. And 9 team fouls in the Raging Cajuns, 8 on the Jaguars. Jones an 83% free throw shooter.
I was about to say, Mike, that even though South Alabama has struggled at the line, this is the guy you want at the line.
Yeah. Been a productive night at the office for Tyrell Turbo Jones. 6 points, 9 rebounds, 4 assists in this game. Quality minutes for Tyrell Jones. And he calmly knocks down 2 to close to within 4.
High-low. There it is.
Brown had it stripped, but a reach-in foul called on Samuel.
I've been really impressed, though. Samuel has such quick hands for a big guy. Gets called for the reach-in there, but he's created havoc. Not only with his size, but with his hand-eye coordination. Reach-in from behind.
Will be a 1-and-1, the 8th foul on the Jags. Brown is a 62% free throw shooter. 1 for 3 tonight. That one came off funky and never had a chance.
You cannot simulate in practice free throws in this situation.
You got a lot of juice in the building, and right now a lot of anxiety for both these teams. So close, and yet one will finish so far away from the NCAA tournament. As I mentioned at the top, dreams are made during Champ Week, and hearts are broken during Champ Week.
I talked about Moore's quick release. You almost have to honor it every time he ball fakes. That time, Dalcourt in the air. Moore to the free throw line. Now remember, if he makes this, Mike, it could be a 4-point swing because Brown missed the front end of the bonus.
30 points for Isaiah Moore. And that will tie his career high. 31 for Moore. A 2-point game with under 2 to play.
Who is willing to take the big shot?
Fans on their feet from both sides here in Pensacola. Brown double. Brown looked like he walked. He did.
I just don't like Brown trying to create his own look off the bounce from 17, 18 feet out. Mike, I'm going to go out on a limb here and tell you that the ball's going to get to Isaiah Moore's hands.
That would be number 4 in red, who's having a career night and has had a tournament for the ages here in Pensacola. He has been outstanding every game for this South Alabama squad. 30-second timeout. We'll step aside. Don't you go anywhere. We're coming down to the wire here in Pensacola, Florida. For either side here in the final 96 seconds, a career night for that man, Isaiah Moore. He's got 31 points. The rest of his Jaguar teammates have 32. To put it in perspective, he's been as close as you could find to a one-man wrecking crew, and no doubt, Mark Wise, he'll touch it here.
Nice job by Moore to break back to get the ball.
Moore barreling in, double pump, missed it.
Pretty good job by Dalcourt.
Held his ground against the explosive Isaiah Moore. Chance to make it a 2-possession lead. If you're the Ragin' Cajuns. Folks, who's had a great game. But he coughs it up. Under a minute to go. A chance to tie. Jones to the rack. Jones draws the foul. Best free throw shooter on the team will try and tie it at the line.
Poor half-court execution, poor spacing that time by Louisiana led to the turnover. And Jones just decided, I'm going to attack the rim. He really didn't have numbers or an angle. But the aggressive play is rewarded.
Gets the friendly bounce on the first.
If you're Louisiana, I know college coaches have been a little hesitant to put their arms around the 2-for-1. But if you're Louisiana, I'm thinking 2-for-1, even to close the game.
Tyrell Jones started his career at Auburn. By way of Chicago, Illinois. Pinched the second one and missed it. 1-point lead. Cajuns with the basketball.
Brown's got to get a touch. Let Folks create.
Folks bleeding clock. Shot clock under 10. Folks leaves it. Jumper is good for Dalcourt. Timeout with 27 seconds to go.
Such a smart decision this time by Folks. And how about Dalcourt? The X factor, I think, in this game for Louisiana, moving without the ball. Watch again. Dalcourt will be at the top part of your screen. Folks comes in, doesn't over-penetrate. Dalcourt moves without the ball. The mid-range jumper is on point. We've got a 3-point game. Louisiana takes one of their 2 remaining timeouts, so both teams now at 1. Mike, plenty of time here. This does not have to be a 3. You need a quality look. And I would think, again, the ball's going to be in Moore's hands, but I would look for Owen White. I would look for Judah Brown, maybe to see if they can screen each other and see if you can free up one of those quality 3-point shooters.
Well, you mentioned a guy that we haven't talked about much tonight, and that's Owen White. And he came into this game 12 for 24 from 3. And you could have made the case he was on his way to maybe the most valuable player of this tournament. So he's been quiet tonight, but they have had faith in him all season long. You wonder maybe with Isaiah Moore drawing all the attention he does, could this be a time for Owen White to shine?
And if I'm Bob Marlin, I'm talking about that very thing. Do not leave the 3-point line. If Isaiah Moore wants to score, so be it.
The White family looking on. Pops, mom, siblings, and wife Maddie all in attendance here tonight. White will be the inbounder. You know Isaiah Moore is going to be the guy who tries to give it to.
Let's see if Dalcourt can keep Moore from getting it.
Folks will hand it off to Moore. And shot clock off. 3-point game. Where do they go? Here comes Moore downhill. Moore all the way. Draws the foul. Dalcourt says, hey, I kept my hands up. The officials say still contact, still getting a trip to the line, and that'll stop the clock with 17.1.
Coming right at you. That's a body foul. There's no question about it. Moore gets to the free throw line. Really good coaching decision, I feel like. Attack. There wasn't any reason to shoot a rushed or hurried 3.
Moore 11 for 14 now from the line, a career high 32.
If I'm South Alabama, I'm pressing and trapping in backcourt and fouling in front court.
The best free throw shooter on the floor for Louisiana just came in the game. Terrence Lewis, 84%.
Come and meet all passes if you're Louisiana. Do not bounce past the ball inbounds.
The crouch, the sling, and the swish on the second. It's a 1-point game.
This is where Charles can run the baseline.
Each team with 1 timeout remaining. Ball comes in. Oh, it's a trap in the corner. Going to be tough to get that out of there. Little bobble and a whistle. So loud in here, couldn't even hear the whistle. But Lewis got fouled. And I mentioned he's their best free throw shooter at 84%. A 1-and-1 upcoming.
Sometimes the best plays are simple plays. There was all kinds of action going on the weak side. And Lewis just streaked up the sideline to get the inbounds pass. So good job by Bob Marlin and his staff getting the ball, as you called it, in the hands of your best free throw shooter.
83% on the season. 84 after the last game. 7 double-doubles on the year. He's been a terrific find in Jackson State. Silky smooth on that one. That's what your best free throw shooter should look like.
Did that even hit iron?
Not a bit. Just tickled the twine ever so gently.
Now, if he makes this one, I think things change for South Alabama. I don't think you have a time enough now to go down and get a quick 2. I think it has to be a 3.
Huge free throw. Perfect. Wow. Ice water going through that young man's veins. Terrence Lewis calmly buries both to make it a 3-point game with 12.8 remaining.
But how about the coaching, though? You called it when Lewis came back on the floor. Bob Marlin got his best free throw shooter back in the game. He got the ball in his hands, and his best free throw shooter delivered in crunch time. Now, if you're Louisiana, the foul game comes into play. I would foul only if this clock, if you can make the offense eat up some time in backcourt and then foul in frontcourt. You don't want to foul too quickly. But I'm saying anything 8 and under, in terms of 8 seconds, it's okay to foul.
Owen White is not the only good 3-point shooter on the team. Judah Brown is 41%. You've got Jamar Franklin at 36%. Tyrell Jones hit one earlier, 31%. I mean, you've got some options here. Everybody in the building is going to be looking at 22 in red, Owen White. And it's been a while for both of these programs. They've gotten to this point quite a bit. South Alabama has been to the championship game a number of times, but they haven't been to the NCAA tournament since 2008. And of course, for Louisiana, that man, Coach Marlin, led them back in 2014.
Small lineup for both teams. No big man on the floor now.
Comes down to the final 12.8 with South Alabama in need of a 3. It comes in to Isaiah Moore. Already a career night. Moore with 6. There's White. White, deep 3 on the way. Rips out. Louisiana rebounds and then a foul with 1.4 remaining. Owen White had a good look. It was online and just popped out.
How did that ball not go in? Owen White, who has averaged 18 points a game in this tournament, shooting 50% from bonus land, had a great look. Yes, it was deep, but he lined it up, and I thought that ball went did everything but go down. Watch again, the in and out nature.
That's from beyond 30 feet. I mean, that is a tough shot, but from our vantage point, it looked like it was going in. That might be the dagger right there. A 4-point lead for the Ragin' Cajuns of Louisiana. They took a 5-hour bus ride to get here. They will gladly go wherever the big dance takes them next. Final shot on the way.